We are the champions.
It was just Alabama A&M, but in
No, we
and
beat Alabama and A&M in the same game.
okay, no, that's not the way it works. But
That's
hey,
not
but
how
in
it
your
works.
defense, it was the best agricultural and mechanical school in the entire state of Alabama.
Well, they are from Huntsville, Alabama, where they make lots of missiles, and now has been announced going to be the new home of Space Force or something. I don't know.
Well, it's got that. That's going to bring in the recruits. Good thing we got them
That's
this
right.
year.
That's right. Yeah.
Good thing we got them
That's the
now.
there's going to be no football players come from
They're
that.
going to get that. They're going to get that NIL money from the Space Force. It
That's
is over.
right.
Game over.
Hey
Alabama
man,
A&M
I
will
live
not.
close to some of
Yeah.
them where they look. I live close to some of those factories that do that, that have and some of the contracts they pay, they could get some money out of it. Anyway, Clay, hey, we won, baby. We won. We're 1-0. We're
We won
1-0.
yeah. I mean,
Big
why it was just
shocker.
Alabama A&M. It was a good. I think it was. You did. You got everything you wanted out of the game. I really
Yeah.
did.
Well, and you know what? It was a good weekend because Alabama lost. Of course,
It,
you're not as happy about that because who they
it's
lost to.
a, it'd be all right.
Texas lost.
That was good.
And I mean, if LSU would have won, it would have been like a, you know,
I'm going to tell you,
perfect weekend.
talk radio's lit down here in Texas between the
I
Micah
bet.
Parsons trade and Arch Manning,
We'll have to
and
talk about that today.
yeah. So
But you know what we got to do first?
you know,
We need those people that are watching to do something, Clint. What do we need
you
them
that
to
are
do?
watching, you that are like, man, Clint's hair is getting really gray on the side. You need to like that this hair is getting gray on the side. Then you need to share and say, hey, look how gray that hair is getting. And then subscribe to see if it gets anything grayer.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're on TikTok, we now have a TikTok account, Hog Slop Podcast on TikTok. So
Ooh,
give us a follow there. And we'll try to put some videos up and some other stuff every now and then on there because I've gotten used to doing TikTok a little bit. So
there you
I'm
go.
gonna try to get Clint on there too sometimes. I got to talk to him about that. That's the first he's heard about it because he's not a TikToker, but we'll TikTok about that later. Get it? TikTok. Get
There
it?
you go.
So, folks,
TikTok.
like, share, subscribe. Get ready. Listen to a little music, and here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see?
One
I
thing you
promise you
don't
a
know about
change
me,
his name. Ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen
seen
all the
how
poor
you
get
get
fed?
fed.
Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Lord, changes me. My Lord, changes me. Can you hear me now? Church, can you hear me now? Ever seen a broken heart made whole? Ever seen
One of
an
my
orphan find a
baseball
home?
goals is to
Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you a change is safe.
there's a
Ever
wonderful
seen the
intro
sick
there.
get healed? Ever seen
Yeah,
a
you should try
mystery
to talk about
revealed?
that.
Ever seen a death
That's it.
man
That's it.
raised?
That's something like
I
that.
promise you a change is safe.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hog Slop Podcast. This is episode 211, I believe, Clint.
You said you didn't know, so we weren't going to say.
Well, we wasn't going to say, but I'm pretty
But
sure it's
then
211 because
you
I'm
sit
pretty
on a
sure.
throne of lies.
I think Courtney Mims' episode was 210.
Yeah.
It's
Took
211.
a week off last week because it was like okay, not a lot to talk about. The depth chart had came out, and everything that we were in suspense about, they just put or.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
So that's
so
right. It's just, hey, who's going to
this
host the
guy could start or
podcast?
this one could start. I don't know. You
Clint
figure it
or
out, bub.
Travis? That means both of us. Yeah. So,
You
yeah.
figure it out.
But hey, Clint, we come back with a W. Uh, First home opener since it's been a while. What,
Yeah, I mean they've
2022?
played at Little Rock and they've played other places. I'm gonna lose the hat. It is bugging me
That's
on
all
my
right.
head. But there you go. But yeah, we played in Little Rock, but this was the first time in Fayetteville in quite some time.
Yeah.
And what's this 2021? Was that right, Travis?
something like that, 21, 22, somewhere
Yeah.
in there. But
So
still, it's a while.
so it's nice to kick the season off in Fayetteville.
Seemed to be a decent crowd. Not a,
Yeah,
it's
decent crowd. I
Alabama
mean,
A&M.
it's Alabama A&M. You're coming off of 6 and 6 years, so I don't anticipate it being sold out or anything like that. But the crowd was decent, and I think we
Well, before we get into the game, Clint, just how's your week been, man? Anything exciting? You said you went down to San Antonio
I
this
did I
weekend.
did go down to San Antonio. Me and the wife, upgraded the golf clubs because we're playing.
Good.
And and you and Robert were giving me a hard time because I joined the country club here.
Well, we think if you join the country club, it's got openings for us too.
It does.
We
Here's
never
how I
thought they
got
would
in.
accept us.
Here's how I got in. My card went through.
That's what it's about nowadays, isn't
And,
it?
no, but yeah, I did look because I was looking at different options, and there was one like some of these, like they do a credit check, a background check, which I'm cool with the background check. Then they have like you got to buy this much food, you got to buy this much drink. If not, we're going to charge you for it anyway. So you might as well eat it, fatty.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I don't know, but I'm guessing Camden Country Club is probably about the same way as the one you joined. Um, I know lots of people that join it just for the pool use in Camden
Yeah.
because there's not another place to use the pool unless you know somebody that's got one.
Mm,
So a lot of parents will join it during the summertime. I think they have a summertime program, but
yeah.
Camden's actually got a pretty good little country club. But anyway,
Well, see
well,
that
Clint,
and I was thinking I played yesterday. Me and the wife went and played over at the club yesterday, the club at Colony Creek. I think I should get something for that, maybe a free month for the free
more than
plug.
likely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll just send them this clip and like,
Because they're probably going to make money off of you mentioning on our
yeah,
podcast.
exactly, or viewership in Victoria, Texas
That's right. Yeah.
um,
Stellar.
is stellar. Yeah, we are dominating the Victoria market.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, but
Well,
yeah,
Clint, it's a good week for me. I work at a middle school, and
right.
Camden has gone to a different schedule this year. And like we started school July 30th. Okay. So we started way early and we go longer in the year. So it's almost year round, not quite year round. We get like a month and a half off in the summer as far as staff goes, but we get like a week off every month. And so for Labor Day, we're just off all week. So I'm off this week. So that's kind of nice. Don't know what to do with myself. Almost talked myself into going to the touchdown club today to see Lawrence Taylor, who's
Yeah, we talked about that. He
one of
was
my,
in North Carolina last night. We can
yeah,
talk about that later.
yeah. But I talked myself out of it. I was kind of, my knees and hips were hurting me pretty good. So I didn't want to
Yeah.
do it. But anyway, let's talk about, we're going to talk about the game and we're going to do a couple different approaches. But here's what I'd like to do, Clint.
You tell me,
Let's,
you're the quarterback. I just
let's
follow
talk
behind.
about first. Let's talk about the good stuff first. Okay. Let's talk about
Good
the good stuff.
stuff.
So, what is the stuff that gave you a warm, fuzzy feeling? Okay.
Well, here is the ball distribution to different wide receivers.
Yes, I agree.
That I loved. Um, and I felt like he had a clean pocket most of the time. Like
Yeah.
he had to move when he said his move. And the other thing that I really loved, Travis, was Alabama A&M. I do not believe was University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
No, they're better. Yeah.
No, this was definitely, listen,
In
like,
fact, in a season that their coach lost his job, they beat UAPB by like 20 or 30 points last year.
yeah.
So
So
they're better,
my
a little
thing
bit
is,
better.
this is kind of like playing UAPB last year was like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu going to the kids' class and picking on the newest kid there.
Yeah.
This was at least a white belt trial student coming in going against a black belt. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still, you're much better than them. You're going to dominate them. This should be an easy win. So I love that they played a little bit tougher opponent. I don't think we should see the drop off going to the next game, which I know we're going to talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I love that the defense got punched in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I love that the defense got punched in the mouth. They came out, punched us in the mouth, and we had to pick ourselves up, and they chose not to quit. They
Yeah.
made adjustments, and they took care of business. What do you think, Travis?
I agree with you as far as, the big questions on this team, and the big one I've been saying on here is Taylor Green. Is he going to have open receivers running downfield and miss them? He was hitting receivers, Clint. He was finding those receivers.
Yeah,
And he was finding guys like Omega Blake got his catches. Okay. Those were the outside guys were the ones he was hitting last year. And he was missing the inside guys last year. Raylan Sharp, CJ Brown got catches. Okay.
yeah,
And that's good to me.
yeah.
I felt like he wasn't. Omega Blake had a great game, and he seems like a guy that he's going to go to quite a bit, but he wasn't just looking for him like he was Andrew Armstrong. Maybe because he's not Andrew Armstrong. Okay. He's not the physical beast as far as size wise that Andrew Armstrong was. But I really liked what I saw there. I thought his passing game, 300 something yards, 6 touchdowns. Can't complain about that. I thought, um, you know, he did a lot of things really well. Um, the offensive line, I think the pass protection was good. Now, when we talk about the cold, prickly things, I may talk about some other things with the offensive line I'm worried about there.
Yeah, and
Um,
and
but
I
we'll
wasn't
get
I
to that.
haven't yeah, I haven't went back and rewatched the game yet, but on first glance, I was pleased with the
Yeah.
offensive line.
Well, but one of the big things is what they did. Is the pass protection, and that's the kind of guys we got. Okay, our left tackle we got is the best pass blocker in the country in the portal, and we got him.
Yeah.
Okay, and the defense, exactly what you said. Look, well, you know, we can talk about the negatives of that first drive, but the fact that they made adjustments, the fact that after that, I think they didn't have hardly any yards after the first 2 drives, that they didn't hardly do anything the rest of the game.
Well, if that first drive hadn't happened, we would have talked about, well, they didn't face any adversity.
Yeah.
They didn't do this. I mean, there
Yeah.
there's you
Yeah.
got some stuff out of that game,
Yeah.
and Talon got sacked, a
Yeah.
couple times, and one of them was just if he was another foot in front of the guy, he would have probably gained 20 yards,
Yeah.
but he wasn't, and he went down.
Yeah.
So I was
And one of
pleased.
them was just a running back making a bad read. But that same running back, Mike Washington, his pass pro was excellent the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can forgive that play because of how well he did the rest of the game.
How well do you learn from the mistake, and how
Yeah.
well do you take the coaching? Looks like he took the coaching well.
Now, let's talk about the cold and prickly. We talked about the warm and fuzzy, like a nice blanket. You got
Yeah.
to have a warm, fuzzy blanket, right?
Yeah.
But then some blankets aren't made as comfy. And so there's some cold, prickly things. So, Clint, what are some things that you saw that still
Well,
has you a little concerned?
obviously that you had a tight end that it took you a drive and a half to figure out how to cover. That was
Yes.
a code prickly. That how does that happen?
And not only that, as I was telling you earlier, he looked like he should be playing church league
I
softball
wasn't going to be that mean
as far
about
as
it,
he's
but if you do that to Luke Haas is going to gash you,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and you're not going to. He's not going to do that. And I know Luke Haas is out for the season, but I just want to
yeah,
talk about a good SEC tight end,
yeah,
and Luke Haas definitely fits that bill. Um, now when we went to the sixth man, when Shaq got in there, we had a couple missed assignments.
yeah,
You can definitely see why Harris is starting. Pittman said the 5 guys that should have started. I agree with it 100%.
yeah,
And also, I want to say this. I know the Blackenstock played some minutes over there, played some snaps over there on the defensive line. I'm encouraged by that. That's a good one, by the way. It came to my mind, so I wanted to say it. So
yeah. And he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't like blow up any running plays necessarily or whatever, but I was watching him a few times, and every time he took on 2 blockers.
Yeah, he's there to eat blocks.
And he
That's
and those were guys that wasn't going off to the linebackers. It wasn't going off on Cam Ball and other people or the other defensive ends. So yeah, I think Blackenstock did what he's being asked to do. And
yeah,
he's a physical specimen, man. I mean, he's a big, strong dude. But
yeah.
um now here's my big cold prickly when it comes to Taylor Green. Taylor Green is still struggling with the run option reads. He's still keeping the ball when he should give it and giving the ball when he should, you know, keep it. I mean, it
I
was just a
had
couple times, but there was a couple of them that were very obvious.
Yeah, and I had another good point that I wanted to make
Yeah.
that I forgot. Now, since we're on to the Cold Pricklies, but I'm really sorry. But I remember because I was listening because I was driving to San Antonio and I was listening to the drive. The second drive the offense had of the second half, that one really struck me because what they did was I was like, man, you still got the first teamers in there. I figured KJ would have been in there and
Mhm.
that they would have started seeing some second team offensive linemen and you know like legit see Edmondson, see Cash Courtney in the game,
Yeah.
start seeing them get. But they had the first team in there, and I was like, why are they doing this? And then like it happened, like okay, there's going to come this game during the regular season where the score is 24-17.
Yeah.
There's 5 minutes left in the game. We need you guys to run out the clock.
Yeah.
And they basically had that drive.
Yeah.
They had that drive. And
Yeah.
and Taylor Green was in there, all the guys were in there, but they're like, okay, get that break their back drive.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We came out there, punched them in the mouth at the first, you know, first drive of the first half. Break their spirits.
Yeah.
And then they did that. But I remember just when that happened, I'm like, okay, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they need. And they really worked the clock. They worked that. And I remember looking at my wife and said, there's going to come that game. It's going to be 24-17, 31-24, something
Yeah.
like that. And we need you to drive it. Not only we need you to drive it, we need you to eat the clock out.
Yeah.
Make sure that they don't have any time left. And they got that done.
Yeah.
And they done it. Another cold prickly thing was when the second and third teamers started getting there, it was a little bit sloppier than it should have been.
Yeah.
That was a little discouraging. Not so much when just the second teamers in there, but they got the second and third teamers mixed in.
Yeah.
But there's some of these guys that's going to be the only game they play in all year.
Yeah.
So anyway, Travis, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
Well,
rambled
no.
on there.
And back to the Taylor Green thing, he's got to get those reads right. On one of them, you let the end go. The end was in his face. He should have gave the ball up. But look, he still had a really good game. Okay. So it's not a huge thing. When it comes to the offensive line, I thought we could have done a better job in run blocking. Uh, we just didn't fire off and dominate like I thought we should have, especially against that team. I mean, not that that team was terrible. Once again, I mean, but we outsized and outclassed them. We should have been able to run better. Now, I'll tell you this: Mike Washington is an impressive guy. He would be even more impressive if he had a little better vision as far as seeing a cutback. Because there was a couple of times if he would have made it a cutback, we'd be talking about like how Arkansas fans are. I'm not at all saying he's this good, but we would be talking Darren McFadden,
Well, I
Alex
mean
Collins
that
comparison.
that
Yeah.
is the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
When a guy's good at golf, you compare him to Tiger. When the running back's good at Arkansas, you compare him
Well,
to
and it was who we were against. He would have, but like there was one run he ran off the left tackle, and if he would have made one little cut to the left to the outside instead of just running at the tackler, he was gone, dude. He was gone with his speed. See
Yeah.
ya. Um, our receivers, I was so impressed with them. They ran good routes. They caught the ball well. They seemed to have poise in running their routes. They didn't seem surprised when the ball came to them. There was times last year we had receivers that seemed surprised when the ball came to them. I was disappointed that Rohan Jones didn't get a ball. That kind of surprised me. I don't know if that means, look, maybe Petrino is not using the tight ends like he used to in the passing game. Maybe he's going to use the slots like Sharp and CJ Brown more and more, and we're not, you know, because one of the things last year we were like, well, Green's not seeing the tight end. Um, I don't. I Green's seeing more this year. He found those,
Yeah.
those slots
Well,
run
and
the
he hit a
same
nice
routes.
ball. He did hit a nice ball to Platt. I
Yeah,
mean,
he did. He
that
did.
was a good ball.
And Platt was impressive too. Platt
Yeah.
was impressive. I watched him a lot in the running game and pass game. Now defensively, um, our defensive line still scares me. Going against we did not get pressure. Like in one if there was a game we should have got pressure on somebody, this was it. And we did not get pressure, even with look, we knew that was going to be an issue, but even with our line using our linebackers and other things, we didn't get the pressure that I think we should have gotten. And then that first drive, like you said, it was good for us in some ways. And look, and I know all the excuses. They didn't have film on this team. They're having to go to Miles College and see what they did that the offense did there. And the coaches probably changed up a lot for this game. Um, and those it was obvious those defenders were looking to the sideline and like, like what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? But here's the thing, Clint, and you know as well as I do, there's going to be times that's going to happen. You're going Gus Malzahn's going to come out there, or not, of course we don't play him, but you're going to go out there. Lane Kiffin's going to go out there and run something you ain't seen on film. That's going to happen. Sark's going to run something you
Yeah,
ain't seen on film,
100%.
and you got to just line up, man up, and go. If you're running zone, you stay in your zone and you man up and you play because you know what your assignment is, and you make your assignment. You don't have to know exactly what they're doing every time because you're not going to know because these coordinators are too good. And so that's what concerned me more than anything about that drive is that our players didn't naturally do that. Okay. Now, maybe that's a lesson for them and they'll do that when Kiffin and Sark do that. Okay. Maybe they will. And I hope they will. I hope they learn their lesson from it. Like I said, hugely impressed that our coaches made adjustments. They didn't have to wait till halftime to make the adjustments. They made adjustments right there in the first quarter, and those adjustments changed the whole aspect of the defense for the rest of the game. Now, the other warm fuzzy I have that I forgot to say, Clint, was special teams.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Kickers look good. Um, Shanks, he didn't get off. I was hoping he would get a chance to break with something free, but he still like even caught the ball well. He did what he was supposed to do. Um, so in fact, I think Pittman said special teams had almost a perfect game, which they did. I mean, they really did. I mean, the only thing that could have been better was getting a return for a touchdown or something. But so that's our warm fuzzies and that's our cold and pricklies, folks. What do y'all think about that? Is there are there things we're missing? Um, when it comes down to it, though, look, Talon looked good. He seemed
Yeah,
to
he did.
he commanded everything. Um, I thought Carmona looked good at left guard. Thought he did well there. I thought, like the starting offensive line did mostly pretty well. Like I said, I think there was a few times, and I'm mainly bringing up the run stuff on them because it was brought up on the 4th and 5 podcast on DJ Williams podcast, and I agreed with him on that. So, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that,
you got to find something to criticize to work
yeah,
on. So obviously now, as is tradition, every week me and Big T, he ain't Bigger T anymore. He's just Big T. He's still Bigger T, but
yeah,
I still love him.
yeah.
Anyway, we do our offensive, defensive player of the game. So Travis, I'm going to kick it off. My offensive player of the game, I'm going to go with CJ Brown. Had a rough week. Caught that, his dad passed away, and Pittman pretty much had to go force him to be with his dad.
Yeah.
And he comes out there, has a 2 touchdown game. Should have had a third. He had one in his hands. It just kind of just missed him, but that kind of thing's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, C.J. Brown.
Well, I'm going to, look, the obvious one would be 6 touchdowns by the quarterback. The second obvious would probably be Omega Blake. But we don't go with the obvious here. I'm going to go with Mike Washington
Okay.
because I really was impressed with he runs hard. Like I said, the only negative I could find is I wish he would have made a couple cutbacks and the only reason I say that is because if he made those cutbacks, he would be a legend in Arkansas this week. Okay. That's the only reason I say that because it would have been like, holy cow, did you see that guy? We're hearing that in practice from him that he's doing plays like that. And so I wanted to see that. I wanted to see him bust one loose. 230 pounds. He runs hard. And then, like I said, he messed up that one time. Okay. He messed up. But his pass pro was really pretty good the rest of the time.
And I'm also going to send an honorable mention to Marion Harris.
Yeah.
The man played 3 possessions on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, left guard was like a snap.
Yeah.
But I mean, he played quite a few snaps of right guard and right tackle.
Yeah.
And then,
and for a guy that people have been questioning whether he should start all year, and he gets to start, and he played a great game, and he proved he should be the starter. I think, and like you said, the other negative was Big Shaq. Look, he's a beast, and he's gonna be good, but man, he's just not as athletic, and part of that he's 380 pounds or something like that. Like he weighs as much as I do.
Yeah, he's going to get him. He's going to get. Shaq's going to get him some minutes, and he's going to get better. And I think
he's going to get better. Yeah,
being experiencing live rounds is just different, and he got him some live rounds. Now Travis brings us to the defensive side of the ball. And, it's one of them games where no one really stuck out on defense. No one did. But what did stick out was that they got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And they had a choice to make adjustments. And so I'm giving adjustments.
Yeah.
The player of the game. I know I could give it to Travis Williams, but he's probably the guy that made the adjustments.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it to adjustments. Why? Because I can.
Well, and here's the deal, Clint. I'm going to agree with you on this one because to me, that was the most impressive thing. There wasn't any one guy that necessarily, there was guys that had good games. Some of the guys played well. Some of them, could have played better, things like that. But to me, the most impressive thing on the defense was they did get punched in the mouth, but they adjusted, as you said. So I agree with you. It's great minds think alike. And between the two of us, we have close to a great mind there.
Yeah, close to it. We're just
close to it.
that far.
Close to it. That's right.
Smidgen. So, Travis, there was other big games. We got Arkansas State coming up.
Let's talk about Arkansas State first.
Let's talk about Arkansas State. They played like East Tennessee State or somebody like that.
Southwest Missouri, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Or was it East Tennessee? I don't know.
It was somebody not good, and they punched them in the mouth, did what they should have done. It was funny.
Yeah, it's Southeast Missouri State.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I had the East right.
Yeah.
So it just seems like to the players, this is a bigger deal to the fans than it is anybody on either roster.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just going to be blunt.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't have that many Arkansas guys. We don't have that many Arkansas guys. Now look, and Pittman has been talking. He doesn't want to go to Little Rock anymore. He's making it obvious. Everybody's saying they don't want to go to Little Rock. Now, and I agree, we probably don't need to play in Little Rock. If they're not willing to do the upgrades and do the things to make it a good experience. They got people that don't know how to do parking, do the parking. They got people that don't know how to do concessions. They're treating it like they do a high school game there. Okay.
Right.
They got like high school basketball. Scotty Thurman's high school basketball team was doing the concessions last year. I'm all for a high school basketball team being able to make a little money. But when you're trying to get 40,000 people, you don't need high school. I've been a youth pastor and worked with high schoolers and believe in high schoolers. You need some people that know what it takes to run a concession stand. Okay. And so when they're running out of water and sodas and everything else, when the bathrooms are they're losing power and they're losing water pressure and things like that at all these games, and that's
Yeah.
happening every year.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
probably
mean,
time to end it because there was a time when, the main reason to keep the game in Central Arkansas was to keep the high school recruiting in Central Arkansas. But
well,
now with the transfer portal era and the NIL era, it's
when
just
it wasn't just the high school recruiting, originally it was so that people in South Arkansas and Eastern Arkansas could come to a game and be able to afford to come to a game and be able to drive back home that night. They don't have to get hotel rooms and just to reach out to other fans that live farther away and to keep it a Arkansas team, right? But the thing is, you got to have a good place for them to play. Now, the players, we talked to some of them. They still love playing in Arkansas at Little Rock.
yeah.
They'll talk about they love coming down to Little Rock and playing. But for everybody else, the experience has just not been as good. And some of that is they're giving us crappy games there. It was much better when LSU was playing there, or
Well, they're not going to give
Georgia.
us that. I mean, that I think those days are done.
They are.
And part of it too is, and Pittman alluded to this in his press conference um, was uh, was the streaming now. I mean, like it was a big deal for a game to be on TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like maybe we'd have out of 10 games, we'd have 4 on TV a season.
Yeah.
Dave Neal, bless his heart, I saw him. He's the voice of college football to me because he was on so many of those Raycom Jefferson
Yeah.
Pilot
Yep.
games. So I remember him forever. So yeah, I think the Little Rock thing's just come and gone. It's time to just
Yeah.
put it out of its misery. And it's time to move on and just
And
do
I
all.
think, and I really think after we play Arkansas State on Saturday, people are going to be like, okay, that wasn't as cool as I thought it'd be. I think that's what we're going to, I think the, my old school get off your lawn attitude is going to
Yeah.
be welcomed by people because they're going to be like,
Uh,
it wouldn't have mattered if it was ULM or somebody like that.
so Travis, what is your prediction for the game, my friend?
Look, Arkansas State has some good players. Okay. First of all, they got Jalen Rayner, their quarterback. He was 26 for 32 with 345 yards passing and 3 touchdowns against Southeast Missouri State. A team that probably just as good as Alabama A&M. Okay. Um, he's got running back that's decent, that catches the ball and runs the ball pretty good. They do a lot of RPO stuff. They're gonna come in and they're gonna, Butch Jones understands this situation. Okay, he's been in Sam Pittman's case, at Tennessee playing against the Middle Tennessees, the Vanderbilts, people like that. So he understands both sides of this coin, and he's going to know how to motivate his team to try to win this. I listened to his press conference. He said all the right things. He had a ton of respect for Arkansas and for Pittman and everything. A lot of it's, depending on how the game goes, is what Pittman does selling his team on how important this game is to the state of Arkansas.
Right, yeah.
Um, I really think Arkansas State's going to keep it somewhat close, but I think we still win by 3.5 touchdowns, something like that.
I think it's going to be a 31, like a 34-17, 34-14 type affair.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to be, some of the fans are going to want to blow out. I don't think it's going to be that necessarily. I think And here's one reason why. This is going to be one game where the fans aren't going to be totally on Arkansas' side at War Memorial.
Yeah.
Arkansas State sold at least 10,000 tickets, and there's going to be a lot more that probably bought tickets on other third party sites and stuff that, or just, besides their allotment, that, they could have 15,000 fans there. And I mean, that's not a ton. And it is a sellout, but I mean, Arkansas is going to have more fans, and it may be a tough environment for Arkansas State. But if Arkansas State gets some momentum, their fans are going to make some noise.
Well, what you got to do with a team like this, you got to take their will. You got to take their will early.
Yep. You got to start quick. Yep.
That's what you got to do. That is 110% what
Yeah.
you do.
So what do you think, Clint? Well,
No, I think it's gonna be like a 34-17, 34-14 type game. Hopefully I'd like to see us run the ball a little bit better. But I think this is gonna be a game where, I think Arkansas is just gonna outclass them. And so yeah.
we really need our defensive line to show up this game. I think in his press conference, um, Butch Jones was asked about Cam Ball, and he talked a lot about what it's going to take to defend, block a guy like him. And it sounds like he's put a lot of thought and effort into that. So I think that's somebody they're worried about. They're worried about our D line. So yeah, we need our defense is going to need to really step up. We're going to have to contain that quarterback, man. We're got to contain him.
No, 100%, 100%. And I know that's probably the reason Deion Sanders gave for Jackson State never playing a big school was because he goes, man, the up front just you can't get the linemen to compete.
Yeah,
was part of that. So,
yeah,
so we need our big boys to be our big boys and to take care of business.
yeah.
And hopefully they do. And hopefully me and you are in a great mood going into Ole Miss. But you know where no one's in a great mood, Travis?
In Texas.
The state of Texas, between the Micah Parsons trade and the Longhorns just looking offensively inept.
Okay, so what's the thought in Texas? I know we don't normally talk about NFL stuff.
Well, and I don't listen to talk radio in Texas, but I guarantee it's glorious. But I have a guy that works for me who is both a Cowboys fan and a Longhorns fan. And I just went and hugged him on Saturday. Said, "Buddy, I'm sorry, it's been a rough week."
Yeah.
Um,
But here's something, Clint. I thought about, or I heard someone talk about this on ESPN radio, and I think they made a good point. The Micah Parsons deal for the Cowboys may not be as bad as what people think. A lot of people are giving Jerry a hard time, but here's the deal. If they would have given him the biggest non-quarterback contract in history,
right.
then you got three max contract guys on your team. You got Dak, you got CeeDee Lamb, and him. And so you're not going to be able to afford nobody else.
Yeah.
Instead, you got two first-round draft picks who are probably not going to be great draft picks.
Yeah, late 20s.
Late 20s. But if you put those two with your whatever the Cowboys get, which is probably going to be better than what Green Bay gets, you put those three together, you could move up pretty high in the draft and get a really good, I mean, you get another great pass rusher to take his place next year or whatever other position you decide, and you get them on a rookie contract, for 3 or 4 years. So it's not as bad as what, I mean, look, I'm not a Jerry Jones fan at all, but just saying. Anyway.
And let's talk about the audacity of these Texas fans. The audacity. Well, okay, first off, everybody's like we're all done with Arch Manning. And let's just be realistic about Arch Manning. Yeah, he may have been the first ever perfect star recruit. I don't know what he was, but he was up there. He's up there. But this is his first true road start.
Against
he goes to Ohio State,
who's a great defense.
Who they've got 5 stars probably at every position. I mean, that is an NFL defense. being
Oh yeah.
coached by an NFL defensive coordinator. So yeah, you would hope that he'd put up better numbers than what he did. But I'm not going to sit there and call the kid a bust because I think at the end of the day, Arch is going to figure it out, and Texas is going to be fine. That's
Well,
the problem. Like,
here's my deal though, Clint.
go
And
ahead.
I'm gonna take a little bit of the. I don't call him a bust. He still, like at the end of the game, made a couple throws that only Uncle Peyton and some other people, like, I mean, not only them, but they would look like something they would throw,
Right?
right?
Yeah, it's an elite throw.
However, he made some bad throws, Clint. And
Yeah,
people are going Sark saying Sark should have put him in a better situation. Clint, one of his first pass, if I remember right, or one of his first, the first one I saw was like a little less than 5 yard, like a delay route to somebody over the middle. Like should have been an easy toss. Like you and I could have connected on it, and he throws it
yeah,
at the dude's feet.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, and I
and he
don't want.
kept doing that the whole game.
Yeah,
He is
dude, but
not
that's
a Heisman candidate. He is not a first round draft pick next year. Now, is he going to be a good quarterback? Could he win a national championship at Texas because of all the talent around him? Yes. Is he going to be a good college quarterback? Yes. I believe that. I think he's got leadership ability. I think, and like you said, he was going against as good of a defense in the country, maybe the best defense in the country.
yeah. Well,
Probably
I'm not
10
gonna
out
sit
of
there and
11
say,
of those guys are going to be in the NFL.
yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and say that. I'm not going that far, but I'm also not gonna say he's gonna win the Heisman or anything like that either. I'm not rushing for judgment on him. Um, but it was a bad game. But that's the problem. I hate. It's fun for us, the fans, to see Texas versus Oklahoma State. I mean, Ohio State, like week one,
Yeah.
seeing LSU, Clemson week one. It's fun for a season of that, but also it's like one of them things. That's not that's not going to be the Texas team that finishes.
No, no,
That's not going to be the Ohio State team. That's not them firing on all cylinders. I
no.
hate playing as a fan. I hate playing games like this week one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's
I
fun.
hate
It's
it.
fun to watch them. But if you're the fan of that team, if you're the one that loses, it hurts because
Yeah,
now it doesn't hurt as bad before the playoff. Before the
Travis,
playoffs, you'd been done for the
no,
year.
no, no. Picture this. Picture this. Imagine we bring the greatest NFL coach in of all times. 8 Super Bowl rings, counting coordinator rings. And
Yeah.
I tell you what we're going to do. Let's give him a former NFL head coach as an offensive coordinator,
Yeah.
and a former NFL defensive coordinator, let it be his son,
Yeah.
the apple of his eye. Let his son be defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
and let's have a Monday night game on Labor Day. You know, he's coached on Monday night thousands of times before, and let's have star-studded event. Let's get Randy Moss there, Jordan, Roy Williams, LT. Let's get them
Yeah.
all. And let's play TCU with head coach by Sonny Dykes, who got fired at Louisiana. No, he got fired at Cal, didn't he?
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
yeah. He
Then
got
went to
fired at
then went
Cal,
to
and
Louisiana Tech and then came.
yeah,
Yeah.
then from Tech to there. But anyway, so yeah, so that's Sonny Dykes' journey from
Yeah.
nowhere to Cal to Louisiana Tech, now to
To
TCU,
TCU.
and he beats Bill Belichick like he owed him money.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it was not like the first drive of the game. Everybody's like, okay, yeah, it did. It was like the opposite of what Travis Williams did. Like there was no adjustments made. It
Yeah.
just looked like
Well, but Clint, to be fair, Belichick is a little distracted. His
by his
girlfriend's
hot
trying,
girlfriend.
she's trying to get the trademark for gold digger. Okay. So, she's going to get money from, was it Kanye and Jamie Foxx did that song?
Is that what is that who it is?
Anyway,
God,
anyway,
boy, but no, I
but
couldn't
yeah,
believe
no,
that
but
one.
yeah, it's
Good
crazy, man.
God.
You're right. I mean, who would have thought, like, I think TC. I'm not surprised TCU beat them. I'm surprised TCU beat them like that. Like that's the worst loss Belichick's ever had in
Yeah.
his coaching career.
50 new players on that team, I think is what I heard. Was it 50 or was
Yeah.
it 70? I think it's 50.
I don't know. Arkansas State has 70 new players, by the way, on this
Yeah.
team that's bringing in.
That that is the transfer portal error. But yeah,
Yeah.
so you think
Well,
yeah,
now, Clint, I was kind of worried about you also,
oh yeah.
because your least favorite coach had a big win.
Yeah, Mike Norvell, and I have another employee who's a Florida State fan, so I have to be somewhat nice.
I don't know.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So but yeah, the Florida State, I tell you what, you got to give that quarterback some credit. Like he's like, look, he goes, they're just another school. They're not Alabama no more. Nick Saban's not over there to save them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tool them.
He
And
brought
then
the
he went out
trash,
there
didn't
and
he?
did it. He
Now,
talked.
here's the question I have. Of course, famously, their coordinator is Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some former head coaches having some success as coordinators. What does that tell us that maybe some head coaches or some coaches out there should stay as coordinators? Is Gus Malzahn the guy that should probably? Now he had some success at Auburn. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean he did well at Auburn,
Well,
but
at the end of the day, what was Houston Nutt's passion? Calling plays.
yeah,
Gus Malzahn's the same way. What's Bobby Petrino's passion?
yeah,
Calling plays.
yeah,
No, there was come a time when being the head coach was a lot more of an attraction to a job than it is now.
yeah,
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, you have very few kids that are going to play for Ryan Day. They're going to play for Ohio State's NIL collective.
yeah,
I mean that's just where we
yeah,
are. And so the guys that really matter are the coordinators, calling the plays.
yeah,
And there's a headache that comes with being a head football coach.
yeah,
That just isn't. I mean, you saw it happen last year with Chip Kelly.
yeah,
Chip Kelly went and became offense coordinator at Ohio State because he just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
yeah,
They just you ain't got to deal with the contracts. You ain't got to deal with this. You ain't got to deal with that. You ain't got to deal with the press like that.
yeah,
So yeah, and here's the thing: when you give an offensive mastermind like Gus Malzahn, I'm gonna say Bobby Trino, somebody that has got knows offense like that. Say, look, you ain't got to concentrate on this. You ain't got to worry about. You worry about what to call on 3rd and 5, and I'll worry about making a decision on what we're gonna do on 4th and 3.
yeah.
That was you ain't got to worry about that. So
Well, and you still have a say. I mean, like Pittman still asked Petrino what they should do on 4th and 3. You know what I mean? Like he
yeah,
Petrino has a say in that. I'm sure Norvell is asking Gus the same thing. But
yeah,
some guys, like I said, like I mean, I think in the NFL, like Norv Turner, Norm Chow, who did college and pro, great, two of the greatest offensive minds to
right.
do it. Okay, but they stayed as coordinators now, especially nowadays with the money coordinators are making. I mean, it's no head coach money, but it's still pretty daggum good money. Okay. And you're still making a couple mil, you know,
Yeah.
and, that's not bad. It's better than I do. But,
No, 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 it's not a bad way. And you know what? Kudos. And I think you're looking like a lot of these guys would think, oh, well, they're bringing in this guy to replace me. And it's really not that way anymore. It just,
no,
I think you're realizing the value of good coordinators
yeah.
and their relationships. So,
Well,
um,
and good head coaches are wanting those guys around them because they know what they're going through. It's just like Pittman with Odom and Petrino. Okay. And you could argue should Pittman be an assistant still? Okay. Some people would say that he's better off as an assistant. I don't know. But the thing is, guys like him values a guy like Petrino. He values a guy like Odom because they got head coaching experience that he can you could talk to them about, yeah, I went through that. I know what you're going through right now. Here's some advice on how to handle that. And to have that on your staff is a good thing. So, well, Clint, Arkansas State, baby.
Made it.
History
Arkansas
being made.
State,
History
first
being
time
made.
ever.
Probably the last time in Little Rock. They're not officially saying that, but there's enough people saying that I think it's a done deal. I think that's already been decided.
Good. And so if you're closing out Little Rock, what a great way to close it out to play at Arkansas State. There's been quite a few fans clamoring on for years. And
well, there's not any, the thing is that one of the reasons they're saying that there's not any on the calendar on the schedule now. Okay, so there's nothing in the future. This one's been on the schedule since the year Sam Pittman was hired 6 years ago. But since after this, there's nothing on the schedule, nothing on the calendar. So anyway, it's a good way to finish it off, doing something that's never been done before. And hopefully we beat up little brother, send them back up to Jonesboro, and both of them have a great season after that. Folks, like, share, comment, subscribe. By the way, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the Courtney Mims episode last week. She did an awesome job. It's a little longer than our normal, but we went through the schedule and did game by game what our predictions are. And so far, we're 1-0, all of us.
So, Travis, you picked 7-5. I picked 8-4. You feeling good, or you feel it after game one? You feeling better?
I felt, look, I've been telling people I picked 7-5 when we did that. If you would have asked me to put money on it at a casino or something, I would have probably said 6. I would have said just over the 5.5. But I did decide to go with the upset against Ole Miss. So that's what changed my mind there.
There we go. I still feel pretty good. So we'll see after that. But
by the way, Courtney Mims could not tell us what her new job was. But she announced this week she's the new sports director for Fox 16, Channel 4 in Little Rock. She took over for Wes Moore, who's leaving that position to do his own. He's still going to be on the Buzz, but he's doing his own like Wes Moore Sports or something like that on YouTube. So he's going to be a competitor of ours. So don't pay attention to him.
So
watch Courtney Mims and listen to us. So anyway, no. There's plenty of time to listen to lots of good folks. There's lots of good, cool podcasts out there. We're just the coolest because that's how we roll. Well, folks, like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. Have a blessed week, Clint. Take care of them Texas folks. Straighten them out. Bye.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy